Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. Today I'm going to be shopping my stash for a specific product. I have done a video like this before. Last year I found a lipstick that I fell in love with. I started panning it and I was avoiding it because it was a very bold color. It was kind of like a very rich berry shade. It was a Trustique matte lip crayon in the shade, how can I already forget? What was it called? It was a Trustique matte lip crayon. I cannot think of the name, but whatever it was, I fell in love with it. And as I got close to finishing it off, I started panicking about what I was gonna do once it was gone because I fell in love with that color so much. And so I did a video where I shopped my stash for dupes for that specific lipstick and I found two. So all of this energy and time I was giving towards worrying about using up that lipstick was silly, because the truth is I had not one dupe, but two. And then after watching the video, my friend Callie ended up sending me a full size of that very same lipstick. So I have now a full size of that lipstick and two more very close dupes that will give me the same beautiful berry matte lipstick as this Trustique matte lip crayon that I was wearing last year. Well, it's happened again. I found a bronzer that I absolutely love. It is the perfect tone for my preferences. A lot of people would not like a bronzer like this, and a lot of people would probably say that this color bronzer would not work for them, but it is perfect for me. And I was panning it for a little while last year. I had it in a project and I haven't had it in a project since, but I've been spending a lot of energy and time searching for dupes for this bronzer, which is silly because one, this bronzer is nowhere near being panned. It still has quite a lot of product in it and I haven't even shopped my stash. So why am I so obsessed with searching for a dupe for this bronzer when I might already have this bronzer or a very close bronzer in my stash? Now this product's a little bit trickier because I depotted it a long time ago, so I don't know what the brand is. I have no idea what the brand was or what the shade name was. The truth is, I don't even know if it's actually a bronzer. It could be a blush that's just very tan. So I don't really know anything about this bronzer right here. All I know is that it was in my Pan That palette for last year and I absolutely fell in love with it. The thing about this bronzer that is so special to me is that it has a lot of red in it, not orange, but red. It makes me look like I have a suntan. I'm wearing it on my forehead today. And I mean, maybe some of you guys will look at this and think I look strange or weird or it's too dark, but I love the way I look when I'm wearing this bronzer. I like this red tone bronzer very much. So I realized that I needed to stop spending and wasting another minute of my life searching for red tone bronzers online, and I needed to shop my stash for a dupe for this before I go off the deep end and add every red tone bronzer I can find into my shopping cart. So a while back, several weeks ago, I pulled out every bronzer I own, from my single bronzers to my bronzers that are in palettes, everything that was a bronzer, I pulled it out on the table and I started swatching, and I filmed the whole thing, but it ended up being well over an hour of footage. And I ended up finding quite a few dupes. So after I got done filming the swatches of all of these bronzers, I realized that that's not really the important part of what I was filming. The important part is to show you all of these dupes I found. So that's what this video is. I'm going to give you a swatch of this powder right here. I'm gonna call it a bronzer because I don't know for sure if it's a bronzer, but I used it like a bronzer. And I'm going to swatch that on my hand, and then I'm going to show you swatches of all of the dupes that I found for this shade right here, this no name shade. So in the end, I have managed to find 8 dupes of this blush slash bronzer. Let me show you those 8 dupes. I'm so excited because maybe now I could finally stop obsessing about finding a dupe for the shade one day far in the future when I finally finish this bronzer. Here is a swatch of the bronzer right there. You can see how much red it has in there. Like I said, maybe it's a blush. I don't know. A couple of the dupes I found for this are technically blushes, so maybe I shouldn't have been shopping in my bronzer stash at all for this. Maybe I should have been shopping in my blush stash, but like I said, I wear this as a bronzer. The first dupe that I found is pretty spot on. It's the Milani Baked Blush in Bellissimo Bronze. It's a little bit more shimmery, but it's close and it is beautiful. There is Bellissimo Bronze. There's my bronzer. The next blush is from the e.l.f. blush palette in Light. And I'm going to swatch this orange looking one over here. This one's pretty matte. Look at that. Nailed it. This next one is a little bit deeper and a little bit more red, but this is from the NARS Dual Intensity Cheek Palette. I had this in Project 10 Uses a while ago, and I absolutely loved working on this. It looks like this, and I'm going to swatch the bronzer on the end. I had so much fun using this palette while it was in Project 10 Uses. There it is right there. Look at that. Love it. I love that. Okay, next I found another blush, and it is from my Becca and Jaclyn Hill palette. And this is the shade Amaretto. This one right there. I think it's technically a blush, but the way I've been using it for Project 10 Uses is as a bronzer. I definitely see myself using these type of products as like all over face powders. Like I wouldn't need to use a separate blush and a bronzer. I would just use this on my cheeks and my forehead to warm everything up and give me that sun-kissed look. There it is up there. The next bronzer is from my Smashbox Masterclass palette. This is the Art Love Color palette, and I'm talking about the shade Sunset, this one right here. Every time I swatch this powder, I completely fall in love with it again. It is so unassuming in this palette, but it's a winner. It makes a gorgeous crease shade for an eyeshadow, and I think it's a perfect fit for this reddish bronzer that I love so much. Look at that. That is just so beautiful. I love that powder so much. Okay, this next one's a little bit tricky. It comes from my Ofra highlighter bronzer on the Glow Magnetic palette, and it's not a complete powder. It's part of a powder. Right here. I don't know if this is supposed to be a pyramid or a sailboat or what, but as you can see right here, this half of the triangle is very red, and that's the part that's the dupe. Can you hear Kitty snoring? Okay, she's snoring away. There it is right there. Okay, I'm going back to my depotted powders. This is a magnetic palette filled with blushes, and this shade right here has no name, no label on it. I have no idea where it came from. I don't know the brand. And again, similar to the powder I'm trying to dupe, I don't know if it's technically a blush or technically a bronzer, but it's pretty close as far as a reddish toned powder that I think would go well as a bronzer for the reddish type of bronzer that I like. There it is right there. Wow, is that a close dupe? It's a little bit red, similar to that one. They're sisters, look at that. Okay, I have one more to swatch and then this video is over. Another magnetic palette of depotted shadows, but this time I know where this came from. I'm pretty sure this was a Neutrogena powder. I could be wrong, but I'm going to swatch this top part right here of these two warm bronzy shades because they're the closest to this reddish bronzy shade that I like so much. It's a little bit more subtle, but there it is down there. Look at that. I managed to find 8 dupes within my stash for this reddish brown bronzy blush that I love so much. I mean, I just feel like every time I wear this thing, I look like I've been hanging out at the beach all day long, and I love that. I love that look on me. I know it's not for everybody, but I love that look on me. And I can finally calm down and direct some of my energy towards something more useful than shopping around for reddish bronzers, because I have them. And if I should use that pan of bronzer up, I have 8 more to choose from. So I'm okay. I can calm down. I need to calm down. If for some reason you are like me and you fall in love with the product and you have this tendency to start hunting for dupes out there, or if you can repurchase it instead of shopping your stash for what you already have, I would strongly encourage you to try and shop your stash first. If you're like me, you will be more than shocked by what you already have and how satisfied you can be with the products you already own. And I am shocked. I did not know before starting this that I had 8 very close dupes to that bronzer. I thought it was so unique. I thought I have nothing like it. And really, even though about half of these are blushes, I didn't really even look at my blushes very much. I should really do that next, because I might have even more of these shades in my blush stash. It's amazing. That is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I showed off my dupes for this fantastic bronzer that I love so much. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.